So, concept, talking about the headphones. It said, is this lighting, adapter, connecting a pair of headphones?
No, you other adapter.
It just popped up and it says headphones or other device.
Other device.
Alright. First I see that popped up.
I almost even care enough to even want it.
Because if you use it as headphones, it's not going to pick up our voices.
Shalom, shalom. With Israelite School UPK. Started at 1 West on 25th Street. With Israelite School UPK. All right. Started at 1 West on 25th Street. Oh, boy. Shalom, Israel. We the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York. We teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who they are according to the Bible. Today is the Tuesday Brotherhood class, so we will be going into Brotherhood of the 12 tribes of Israel. Who are the 12 tribes of Israel? The 12 tribes of Israel are thus: the tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes in America, black men in America. The tribe of Benjamin, so-called West Indians. You talking Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, Bahamas, all those places where you have those black brothers down there in the West Indian Islands. Tribe of Levi is the so-called Haitians. All right, these Haitians are actually the tribe of Levi, the descendants of the tribe of Levi. Tribe of Simeon is the so-called Dominicans. Tribe of Zebulon is Guatemala to Panama. Tribe of Ephraim is the so-called Puerto Ricans. Tribe of Manasseh is the so-called Cubans. Tribe of Gad is so-called North American Indians. Tribe of Reuben is so-called Seminole Indians. Tribe of Naphtali is so-called Argentina to Chile. So-called Asher's, the tribe of Asher is Colombia to Uruguay. And the tribe of Issachar is the so-called Mexicanos. Those are the 12 tribes, excuse me, of the nation of Israel. Somebody said mega church detected. No, we're definitely not a mega church. Somebody said respect family. Tribe of Ephraim is here. That's right. So-called Puerto Ricans, you're the biblical tribe of Ephraim. Stand up. You know what I mean? Keep the law, statutes, commandments. Get right with the Most High. If you're a priest, come on down with the priest and get down with the men of the Lord. Everybody who say cannot join, you have to be black, Hispanic, or Native American to join. That's all we accept as the 12 tribes. The oppressor is Esau. You're not an Israelite. So you're an oppressor. Okay, when you're going into the tribe of Moab and Ammon, that's the Orientals. Those are not Israelites as well. So none of these dudes are from Israel. Israel got its name from the people, the Israelites. So even if you take the Israelites out of Israel, they're still Israelites. The same way, if you move to, to some other country, you move to the Philippines, that'll make you a Philippine. You know, you're not Vietnamese because you living in Vietnam. You moved to Vietnam, but you're really an oppressor. All right. He said, I agree. That's true. Yeah. So it don't matter if we live in there. You understand? Because if you go according to the Bible prophecies, the Israelites would be in other lands. They would be scattered to the four corners of the earth. All right. you'll be scattered. So you can't, if you know, the Israelites shouldn't even be in the land, to be honest. And if there is a small portion of Israelites in the land, because you had some black people go over there, those people are part of the scattered, but they're not as Israelites as a whole taking back the land. All right. Let's get into some scriptures, some brotherhood scriptures. I see a lot of people referencing the Drewski skit. I mean, that was a funny skit he did today. All right. Let's get John, 1 John chapter 4, verse 20.
Okay.
Somebody said some people don't want the truth. Yeah, we don't really care who wants the truth or not. Our job is to teach it. Our job is to spread it. So that way, when the judgment comes, everybody already heard, everybody made their choice and made their election sure. There ain't going to be a whole bunch of people complaining how, they never heard, they didn't have a chance. Okay?
I got it, sir.
Go ahead.
1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar.
If you say you love God, but you hate your brother, you're a liar. You can't love God and hate your brother. This is why these different religions, they're not in the truth. Because these same people that claim they love God, they hate Mexicans. They hate the tribe of Issachar. Where all the love of God at? It's funny, I hear all these people talk about the love of God, the love of Jesus, the love of Jesus. But then when it comes to deporting our brothers and sisters, you don't have no problem destroying them and their livelihood and their family and this and that. It ain't God. I thought the whole world is God's world or something. The whole world is in his hands. Ain't that what you teach it? Don't this whole world belong to God, right? Jesus? You worship Jesus, right? That's your God, right? So why can't other people live in this land? It's God's country, right? Is it God's earth? It's God's green earth. So then all the 12 tribes should be able to live. That's how you know they don't love God. Any more on that?
Come, sir. For he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love God whom he have not seen?
Somebody said, you're right. Yeah. Somebody said, what are y'all supposed to be? Look at the table. It say Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Somebody said, I like the spike headband. That's what's up. That's how we roll. You know what I'm saying? With our culture. Somebody said, are you mocking God? No, you're mocking God when you try to deport people out of God's country. All right? For no damn reason. When you try to create a whole army just to do it. Somebody said, are you talking about deportation? Yes. Somebody said, where can I sign up? You don't sign up. You born an Israelite. You don't sign up to be an Israelite. Somebody said, that guy from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Do you live by John 4 and 20? Yes, we do. But we understand our brother is the children of our own people. Somebody said, can an oppressor boy have motion? I mean, you can have your type of motion. You ain't going to ever have Israelite type of motion. You're going to have the type of motion of an oppressor. To unalive, steal, and destroy. Somebody said they control the government. You know they do. Yeah, these heathens, they control the government now, but soon Christ's kingdom is gonna control. But if actual people who say they believing in Jesus actually stood up and did something about it, they can control the government and make it right. But because they're wicked and they dislike the Mexican brothers and sisters, they love it to happen. Somebody said there has to be law and order. Law and order. So run around unaliving people and hitting them in their face, that's law and order. Taking kids and from schools and old people from job sites, that's law and order. That's not law and order. That's called terrorism. This is law and order. You keep the same immigration system that you have been keeping. Law and order would be, matter of fact, the borders is open for them to come through. That's law. That's actual law and order. Opening up your border to your neighbor, because God's law should come first. The law of your neighbor. It's funny because so-called, you got all these European countries, they don't need no paperwork to come over here. They just hop on a flight and be over here for however long. But the people who live right next door, they got to have all this problem about coming over. That's how you know it ain't about law and order. I'm not doing anything. My government is so you can stop right there, brother. What? Oh, he said I'm not doing anything. I know you're not doing anything. That's my point. All these different religious people that claim they love Jesus aren't doing anything. They're not speaking out. They're not offering sanctuary. They're not changing the laws. They're doing nothing with all that money and power that's in these different religions. If Israelite School UPK had all that money and power, we would make change. We would enforce God's way. We would bring righteousness on the earth. But instead, you got these different religions got all this money. All they doing is driving around with red bottom shoes on, like Drewski Skit. Red bottom shoes on, Bentleys hanging from the ceiling. The hell's wrong with you? What are you doing with all that money? You ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You ain't doing what for the people. Somebody says, what country does not have paperwork requirements? There's a whole bunch of European countries that don't have to go through what the neighbors of Mexico have to go through to get to this country, bro. You must be slow. All they do is sign up easily and then get on a flight. There ain't got to be no 10-year process, asylum claims and all that. They just come on over. Cut it out. You want to know one? The Ukraine. They just came on over. They had a line just for them. They could just walk on through. The hell was they doing in Mexico anyway? So we said, do you support Israel in the fight? No, we don't support nothing like that. Damn right. So we said, what are you doing other than sitting behind the table like you're some kind of God? There's only one God. We housing our Hispanic brothers and sisters. We fighting for our Hispanic brothers and sisters. Our Officer Quinai Ayala is out there right now on the streets of Minnesota, right now fighting for our brothers and sisters. We speaking out for our brothers and sisters. We doing everything possible. We the one telling you what you're supposed to be doing about it. So we're doing our job. Are you the guy to say anyone else is not human and is a beast like Goyim? I wouldn't say all no beast and all that. I'll just say what type of man they are. They're a man, but they're what type of man they are. Somebody say Ukraine is in an active war. So why bring them over here then? They should go right to the country right next to them. Why bring them way over here? Why give them no papers? Why should they come over here with no papers? That's dumb. Like I said, y'all pick and choose because obviously they the hue that you want. That's all it is. It ain't got nothing to do about no law and order. It ain't got nothing to do about no paperwork. Somebody say, y'all modern day Black Panthers. Yeah, basically. But with God on our side, not politics. Somebody said the tide is coming, we shall overcome. Well, we don't really sing that, but it's true. But we don't sing that. Somebody said, can you call one immigrant that you're taking care of? If not, you're just a hypocrite. Well, Henry's right here. Henry's here. And his wife. What are you talking about? What was it? What was the Haitian brother's name? Pierre? Jean. They all say their name is Jean. But Jean, what are you talking about? Somebody said, please go into the public. We got an interview with the Haitian brother on this TikTok channel that the brother did right here. And he telling us how he was having trouble coming in and out the country and all of that. And we helped him out. Somebody said, please go to the public education department, public service jobs. We need more POS, people of color, in positions of power. First of all, they don't allow people like me to be up in there. because they know I'm gonna fix everything in there. And once it gets fixed, then they're gonna see how bad of leaders they were, how poorly they were running it. When somebody like me comes in there and fixes it, it's basically an affront to how badly they have been running it. Let's see. Ukrainians didn't come with no papers; they came documented. LOL, you don't know what you're saying. How they possible to come? Period. They shouldn't be allowed to come. Period. If it's all about law and order, don't make a special law for them and then leave other people out. Cut it out. You understand? Make it just as easy for every people to come over. But you ain't gonna do that because the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. So he's not gonna do that. Ukrainians did come with no papers. What are you talking about? It was all over the news. Everybody seen it. Some say our brothers, 1960s, are coming to defend us against the Nazi regime. Okay. If you go under 35, we'll click. If you go under 35, we'll take a break.
Come on, sir.
Can the oppressor join you? If an immigrant called you right now, would you let them move in? They need to call the Israelite School of UPK, of course. We got all type of space for them. We love them. Shit, that's our people. 12 tribes of Israel. Not just any immigrant, though. Others are not in war. They do not have the option. If they are, you can't just cross. Man, quiet all that nonsense down. Y'all got the whole ICE agents running around the country only persecuting one group of people. Latinos. What are you talking about? They need to be eradicated. It shouldn't be none of it. It should be same as it was during the 1900s when they said, bring us your poor and starving and huddled masses. They should all be coming over here freely, like Ellis Island. And many of them just want to come over here and be able to go back and forth and travel freely. That's what a real neighbor does. A neighbor don't block you from nothing. Especially when you come and need some help. Somebody said, say real talk, and that's why they doing more than they allow in a lot of people. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to love Jesus so much, then you should love your brother, love your neighbor as yourself. You don't get no more neighbor than the Latinos. But yeah, what are you doing? Embargoing other countries, stealing their presidents, kidnapping them, but running around in schools and job sites, harassing and scaring the people. Evilness, evil people, man. Evil in your heart. That's why when your judgment day comes, don't sit there and ask nobody else to sit there with you. And enjoy that judgment by your damn self. Somebody said, Shalom Cap, is smoking cigars not allowed? No, you're not allowed to smoke cigars, brother. Got to get something else that you like to do. You're not allowed to smoke cigars. Somebody said, nah, man, I don't let my neighbor come in my house whenever they want. That's because you don't love Jesus and you're not a good neighbor. If my neighbor came, needed some help, I'll help him and let him come in. Like, oh, your house burned down? Oh, you got a problem? Come on through. What's good? How can we help you? That's a real neighbor. But places like this, people that claim they love Jesus and claim this, you don't even know where the parable of the neighbor came from. The guy was walking down the street. He got mugged and left on the side of the road. The priest came by, just walked past him. A Levite came by, just walked past him. And then a Samaritan came by and said, look, and picked him up, paid for his health care, put him in a hotel, and paid for him to get better. He didn't even know him. That is who was the neighbor. That was the good neighbor that Christ said that was a good neighbor. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's a good neighbor. A good neighbor. Oh, y'all having problems over there? Y'all need some extra money? Come on over here. There's plenty of money over here. There's jobs over here. We hiring you anyway. We allow you to come over here illegally anyway, so we can pay you under the table little wages. So what the hell are you talking about? You allow them over when you want to pay them 50 cents on the dollar for cheap wages when it's seasonal for the farms, but then you sit back and act like you law and order. Oh, we're law. America is law and order. You ain't law and order. You ain't nothing. America is nothing but a bunch of evil bastards that's going to get their due. That's all America represents. And anybody who supports it, you support an evil regime. They talking about regime change. They need regime change here. Put the Isupk regime in charge, and we'll show you how to be a good neighbor. We'll show you how to bring the right, correct things into the earth. We'll show you what to do with all that money you stealing from black people. Somebody said they get out of America. Why? Why would we get out of America? You get out of America. You leave. If you don't like the way we're going to run it, leave. If you don't like the way we run America, you leave. You don't like the way we speak about how things need to run, you get out the country. Go to Russia somewhere. Go to Germany. I don't care where you go. Go to Antarctica. So we the Israelite School of UPK started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command Junior Hanna. We teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who we are according to the Bible. We're going to take a quick intermission. Okay, a quick intermission.
Hey, 1K. Live.
Shalom Israel. We back. Second half of class. If anybody have any questions, put them in the chat. So we can, because that's how we get down. All right, let's see. All right. Let's get back into the brotherhood scriptures. Where we at? Let's go to Matthew 5:22.
Come, sir.
Miller asked what happened. We usually do Miller. We usually do two-part class. We go to the first half, then we take an intermission, and then we come back for the second half of class. Another person said they're back. Yeah. We usually Israelites have classes, man, from 7 to 9 p.m. That's the time of our class. So we usually start around that time. Somebody said break down the science to 5%ers. To a 5%er. Break down the science to a 5%er. Okay, to a 5%er, I'll just break it down the same way I'll break it down to every percenter, every person. You know what I mean? We're the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's our true identity. We lost it during slavery. God told us to keep the commandments. Our forefathers failed multiple times, and part of the curse of being the children of Israel was we would be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So we end up being scattered. That's why you got blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans all over the damn place. And to get back to our Lord and get back to our God, the Lord calls us back to remember who we are and to keep the law, statutes, and commandments in all the lands that we've been put into captivity. And then after that period, the Lord will turn our captivity and put us back in the land and put us back on top of the earth. Somebody said, looks like the chess club was canceled. Now we still be playing chess. Somebody said, did you notice all they do is sit there and yap? I mean, that's all you see us do, but that's not all we do. Somebody said, you're so lost that you didn't even know you're Africans. So, do you think African is a race? Like that's just one big race. They're just all African. So Ethiopian, they don't seem that they're different than a South African or from a Nigerian to a Congolese. You see them all as the same, huh? Okay, that's in your mind. But blacks are not the same as them. We are a different stock of people. When you read it in the Bible dictionary, it tells you Ham is the second son of Noah, right? And he's the father of the Ethiopians, the Libyans, the Egyptians, and the Canaanites. And then it says not the Negroes. We have a different forefather than African, than the Hamites. Our forefather is Shem. So biblically, I know in your mind, it's like, look, they got afro, they got, they dark skin, they dark skin. They got big lips, they got big lips. Yeah, they're the same. But it's not the same, bro. It's two separate families of people biblically. That's why even today we have two separate spirits. So we said, no, they have different tribes, but they're all from the continent of Africa. Okay, we're a separate tribe. We don't even come from the continent of Africa. Black people came from the Middle East. We really grew as a nation in Egypt, North Africa, and then went into Israel. All right, so that's where we really became a nation. We became a nation in the Middle East. All right, we end up going into Africa like 2,000 years later from persecution. A group of us flee from persecution from Rome. All right, and then the rest of the blacks came from Europe. That's a part of the slave trade they didn't tell you, that a lot of the blacks that came to America came from Europe. You read about the Jacobean Rebellion, the people who wanted to put King James, the black people that wanted to put King James family line back on the throne. When they lost the war, they sent them into slavery into Mississippi. All right, so that's some history you don't even know about. And I believe they put some in the islands as well. Somebody says, so what's the difference between the Israelites and the Israelis? Okay, Israelites are from our biblical name of God, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jacob's 12 sons, those children. Those are the Israelites. Israelis is not even a biblical term. So it's just, you could just make that definition can mean whatever it wants to mean because it's not biblical. Somebody said biblically, Israelites disobey God more than most any group in the Bible. They're the only group who's supposed to obey God. What are you talking about? The other groups in the Bible didn't get no commandments. They didn't get the law, statutes, commandments, so they wasn't going to disobey nothing any damn way or obey nothing any way. So, of course, in the Bible, the Israelites, because the whole Bible is about the Israelites. All right, and the Hispanics. The Hispanics are Israelites, and y'all trying to kick them out the country, which is wrong. Everything undermines Native Americans like this ain't our country, dog. Native Americans, you're an Israelite. You from the tribe of Gad. All the Native Americans are from the tribe of Gad biblically. You came over here fleeing from the Assyrian captivity. It's in the Bible. It's in the Apocrypha. Some say more like hermaphrodite. Israel reclaimed this land in 1948. They came from the ancient Israelites. No, they came from Eastern Russia. Come on now. They're not Israelites. They're converts. When you look up their history in the 9th century, they converted into Judaism. They wasn't in Egypt, building pyramids under Pharaoh. You understand? They wasn't. You can look up their history. They was never there. That was black people and Hispanics and Native Indians. Somebody said, are all Africans Israelites? No Africans are Israelites at all. Only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. These are the 12 tribes. The tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes. Tribe of Benjamin, the West Indians, like Jamaica, Trinidad, and Tobago. Tribe of Levi, the so-called Haitians. Tribe of Simeon is the so-called Dominicans. Tribe of Zebulon is Guatemala to Panama. Tribe of Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans. Tribe of Manasseh is the Cubans. Tribe of Gad is the North American Indians. Tribe of Reuben is the Seminole Indians. Tribe of Naphtali is Argentina to Chile. And tribe of Asher is Colombia to Uruguay. And tribe of Issachar is the Mexicanos. And we're talking indigenous, not people who came from another country and just lived there and brought their language and all that there and put people in captivity. We're not talking about those people. They're not Israelites. Somebody said, we are gonna learn armband is dope. The water. Somebody said, yes, they are. Somebody said, yes. So how do you know that you're an Israelite? According to the prophecies in the Bible. The prophecy is about how we will be in captivity for 400 years. Genesis 15 and 15 and 13? Where it said the Israelites will be in captivity for 400 years. Prophecies like Deuteronomy 28 and 68, which said we would go into captivity with ships. The prophecies in Jeremiah said we would lose our identity.
Okay.
Question? Say no sound.
No, we got sound. It's just.
Oh, it's choppy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. How does each of you know your lineage to be claimed as an Israelite? You go by the lineage of your father. So how do you, somebody said no Bible about any of those tribes. What? Brother Main opinions on Yakub. Okay, Yakub is really the name that they call Yaquab. All right, and they basically just use that name to spin a narrative and say that he built the oppressor from a science lab and this and that. No, Yaquab, which would be Jacob in the Hebrew, he's the father of no, he's the brother of Esau. He's the brother of the oppressor. All right, their father was Isaac. So we said they're definitely African and not Aryan. That's in regards to the slavery in Egypt, slavery of Egypt. Yeah, this is the slavery of Egypt right now. Somebody said, can you do 360 flip into a manual kick flip? Give me some Bible on how you can tell me Cubans are a specific tribe. We got a lecture on the tribe of Manasseh. All right. There's a lecture about that. You have to go into the depths on the lecture. It's on the YouTube. Captain Katas, I did a 4-hour lecture breaking down each tribe and each individual thing. Now, when you go to Genesis chapter 49, I believe, it goes into each tribe and what will befall each tribe in the last days. Uh-huh. Somebody said, ha, I'm glad at least you found something to latch on to. Christ is King. Okay. A black man named Jesus Christ. What do you get for being an Israelite? The Bible says, what profit is there to be the children of Israel? It says, much in every way. Every way possible that you can get a benefit, it benefits for us to know our heritage. And not only know it, but act on it. Because a lot of our people, we would say, okay, yeah, we find that we're the Israelites, but we in America now, we should do like the heathens do. Don't revert back to ancient ways and this and that. No, we got to go back to the days of old. That's what the Bible says. Look to the days of old. All right, ask your fathers, and they'll tell thee. You know what I mean? Turn back to the old ways. Don't try to become the new way of being like an American and trying to be like a modern thoughts and modern mindsets. All that is garbage, and it's not going to do nothing for our people. Us going back to our ancient ways is what's going to save us as a people today. Going back to not sleeping with another man's wife, having multiple wives, not being able to sell drugs to your brother, not being able to lie to your brother, treating your brother better than you treat the heathens. All these ancient laws that we done forgot just because we want to be Americanized and we don't want to go back. Not even eating pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster. Somebody said, I would love to debate you properly. I mean, who are you? Even worthy of the debate? Because I debate. It wouldn't be a debate, really. It'd just be me crushing you with knowledge and understanding. You just sitting there and trying to say something dumb. Unless you got some real knowledge that you stand on. Because a lot of people, they want to debate, but they don't have nothing they believe in. Like, oh, I don't believe in nothing. I don't have no belief. Okay, then you just make stuff up in life. It's not a debate if you just make stuff up. You make up your own philosophy. You make up your own belief. You make it up as you go. Someone said, I'm not even going to be a hater. What are your opinions on oppressors? On Edomites. I mean, our opinion is the same opinion of the Bible. It said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. And I like it, like what King David said, I hate them that hate thee, O Lord. So you can take that right there and study on that. Because the Bible says there's a time for everything under the sun. A time to love and a time to hate. What would separate you from the traditional small hats or other religions? Genuine question. I mean, everything. We don't do nothing like them. Only thing we do that's similar is nothing really, because we use the Bible. They don't. We don't celebrate Christmas and New Year's and 4th of July and all these pagan holidays. We don't worship on a Sunday, which is sun worship. We worship on the Sabbath, which is Saturday. So we say, without the Greeks, you wouldn't even have a Bible. Black people were the Greeks that made sure we had a Bible. You don't understand the history that black people were in Greece after the Maccabean wars. Somebody said, so have slaves again. No, it wouldn't be the same as slaves. You would just be servants. You would be servants unto us. That's the old ways where we were ruling. People would serve us. And guess what? When the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So when the right people get in charge, the world will be happy because the right people are in charge. But right now, the world is sad because the wrong people are in charge. They said, bring it out. You're just doing all this to belong to something. I don't have to do all this to belong to something. I'm already an Israelite. I'm already black. I already belong to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Somebody said, follow GOCC for the knowledge. I don't even know what that is. Are you fluent in Hebrew? Yeah, we speak Hebrew. Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah. You know what I mean? We speak the Hebrew all the time to each other. We salute each other every day in Hebrew. Somebody said, Peanut Gallery got their full costumes on and props on full display. Oh, impressive. Okay, I guess you thought you ate there when you was funny, huh? Somebody say Edomites. That's what you view me as. Edomites. No. Edomites. Edomites. Edom. Edomites. Idumeans. Esau. That's your name, biblically. Somebody said, what in the world is going on in this room? Just stick around and learn something. Ask, you know what I mean? Me and a couple of buddies in Hawaiian shirts will come see you. Send an address. Come find us, fool. We already went through all that yesterday. We ain't trying to get our page blocked for, bullying you people. He said, somebody said, you guys just won't give up. Should put this energy in a job. Why? So we can work till we die? Barely have enough to survive after working for 40 years? Have nothing to show for it? We ain't going to have a nation to show for it, I'll tell you that. They're going to have a nation to show for it because we doing all the work.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're going to have plenty to show for it because we building up their empire. No, we're going to take the time and build up our own empire. Build up our own teachings. Build up our own knowledge. Build up our own mindset. Somebody say, you don't know the gathering of Christianity Church? I mean, there's a whole bunch of churches, bro. I don't know all of them. Somebody said, but you're not fluent in Hebrew and you cannot even name all 613 laws. How do you know what I can name? Do you expect me to sit up here and name all the laws for what? To prove you what? What would that prove? You ain't keeping none of the laws. How about to stop eating pork or stop being LGBTQ? Why don't you keep those laws? Stop celebrating Christmas and New Year's. Keep those laws. Somebody said, what happened to the Greeks? To the black Greeks? There was black Greeks. That's what I was bringing out earlier. There was black Greeks. Somebody said, do you follow the book of Enoch? No, we do not follow the book of Enoch. Somebody said he didn't speak any Hebrew. Okay, what you think is Hebrew is actually Yiddish. It's actually just German mixed with a little with some garb with some Hebrew. All right, we don't speak that. All right, that's not real Hebrew. We speak the Lashon Kodash. All right. So I wish they would start up something like that. Strap them guns to their back so you know. I wish they would start up something. We already started something like that. What you the one late? You the one just now in the chat. You should have been busted a move. You ain't did nothing. So shut up. All right. Somebody said no one is scared of Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, like that. They act like they really doing something. How about this? What you should do? Join the ICE and go keep bothering old ladies and guys cutting grass, because that's all you really care to do. You ain't really out there for no real action. Y'all didn't even go step foot in Venezuela. Y'all didn't step foot in Iran. Y'all didn't step foot in Nigeria. Y'all didn't step foot in Russia. Y'all ain't step foot no damn where. So keep messing with old people and immigrants working at cutting grass and doing roofs, because anybody else gonna smack you upside your head. All right, somebody say you can't name 50 from the top of your head. 50 what? Why would I sit here and name 50 laws? Man, we've been on Keystone. 3532 North Keystone. It's on Google. Our address is on Google. Our class schedule is on Google. Pull up. We do this for years. We've been teaching. Years we've been online. Years we've been having an address on the internet for everybody to pull up. Pull up right now. Get off the stream, get in your car, come to the school. It's on Google Maps. You can type in Israelite School of UPK and then the address, directions. It'll take you right here. So get off the live and do it. So you can never be sick. I ain't even gonna see. That's what I'm saying. You get me started, then you're gonna flag they bullying and harassing and threats, blah blah blah. So yeah, so shut up. Stick with your little what you've been doing, which is in your mama's basement. You know what I mean? Watching midget strippers on the internet or something, whatever you went to. All right, someone said, how about Rome? Were the Romans black too? No, they were not. Okay, the Greeks were not black. There were black people in Greece. But the Greeks themselves are not black. Just like America. The Americans are not black. But there are black people in America. All right. Somebody said, can I join? I'm a small hat. No, you can't join. Somebody said, I'm a small hat. I want to talk. You don't need to talk. Tell everybody that you're not the real people. That's what you should do. Somebody said, I'm saying a Black Panther Party would be a great idea, sir. Wasn't being disrespectful. Oh, nah, man. The Black Panther Party wouldn't be a great idea because it has nothing to do with God and it has something to do with politics and communism. All right? That stuff is not for us. You understand? This is what's for us. All right? We do the same. We got the same things that's going on in Black Panthers we got here. We got, Black Panthers had a trunk full of all the zimzams, the zoms, all that, boom, 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 bow. They had all that. We got all that. What's the big difference? We about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They was about blacks. What's the big difference? Only difference is we have God through the Bible. We have knowledge from God through the Bible. They don't. So they got to rely on, carnal knowledge. We don't have to do that. We can rely on the biblical knowledge. Somebody say, you're so ashamed of your history, you make it up. What do we make up? There was black people in Greece. There was black people in Rome. There was so many different nations in Rome. They said all roads lead to Rome. So why wouldn't there be all different races in Rome? You never heard of what's that brother name? Constantine? Persinius Niger? 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 There's a couple other names. You know what I'm saying? You never heard of those black figures? Just do some history. Do some research. And not no light research either. You got to do good research. There's a book you can read about black people when we ruled the Dark Ages in Europe for 1,000 years. What's it called? I think it's called, I can't think of the name right now. It's been a while since I looked at book, and I think we lost it. We had to order it again. Go to our website, isupk.com, and there's a book listing. And there's a book on there that talks about when blacks lived in Europe for 1,000 years, the Dark Ages. Somebody said the Dark Ages aren't documented, brother. You're a fool if you think 1,000 years of history is just gone. You're a fool. But you know everything before the Dark Ages and after the Dark Ages, all the Dark Ages history, you just don't know. No, the oppressor just covered it up and don't teach it because they know that's when black people ruled Europe for 1,000 years. And they don't want that history to be really known because then it'll give black people a lot more pride and we would overpass y'all even quicker than we are passing y'all now. All right. So that's the reason they don't teach about the Dark Ages. They say, oh, nobody knows what happened in Dark Ages. It was ghostly times. Nobody was reading and writing anymore. Everybody was just ghosts. Shut up. Go ahead.
They just they don't like the fact that we was the chosen people. So they had to cover it up and hide what was really true about our people.
All right. Somebody said Trump is king. You will follow his rules. ICE is here until all criminals are gone. All right, keep telling yourself that. You ain't go. Oh, that's it. J.A. Rogers, Nature Knows No Color Line. That is the book I'm talking about. Nature Knows No Color Line. That's the book that talks about the Dark Ages and all the kings and black kings and castles and knighthoods of black people. You know, the Order of the Golden Fleece and all that. All right. Somebody says $1,000 if you can do 30 push-ups. All right, go ahead, send 1,000. Once I see you at the 1,000, I'll start doing the push-ups. If I can't do it, I'll send it back to you. All right, somebody said, I mean, that sounds like a reach. There was just no advancement. There was no advancement. So where all them castles in Europe come from? But there's no advancement. They just building monuments on top of, castles on top of mountains. That's not real technology though. It's just a mountain on the side of a cliff. It's just a mountain on in the middle of on a range on the water. It's just castles all over, ancient pieces of great history and knowledge and architecture. But there was no advancements really. They was just sitting around. What was they doing? Sitting around picking their nose all for 1,000 years? Shut up. Your oppressors just don't want that information to be known. That blacks ruled Europe for 1,000 years. Somebody says, I'll come bring it to Keystone. Do the push-ups. Nah, go ahead and send it. And then come to Keystone. Send it. Then send the money, then come to Keystone. Then come to our school. Somebody said, what do you think about the Iranians standing by Israelis and protesting against their regime? What? Somebody said, just look at what's happening now. You can't stop Trump or ICE. I'll wait. How old do you think Trump is? He's hella old. He ain't even gonna be around much longer. What are you talking about? You think he's gonna be here for another 15 years? I wouldn't even give him 5 more years. You know what I'm saying? So he's just gonna implode. Oh, he's gonna do exactly what he's doing now, which is imploding. You know what I mean? And taking it and making sure this country goes straight down the drain where it's supposed to go. Right. Somebody say y'all couldn't run a lemonade stand, but we've been running a school since 1969. Okay. Might because you ready to storm a kingdom made out of glow-in-the-dark Legos. All right. I'll bring you the money to Keystone after you do the push-ups. You sound like you ain't got the money. Shut up. Send the money first. Cause you ain't, you know what I mean? That's the problem. You ain't got it. Show you got it. Really, that'd be all your money you got. You'd be broke as hell after that. If you were to send it, probably you ain't got that amount. It was a stalemate. So you're telling me you roamed Europe? Yes, there's lots of black people that was in Europe. Read it in the book. Nature Knows No Color Line. That's what I just told you. Order it. Order J. Rogers. Nature knows no color line. You know what I mean? It's simple. Somebody said they couldn't run to the liquor store, let alone run a stand. Why would we be running around? We got cars. All right. Are you going to blow your side? Ooh, I ain't saying that. Homo stuff. LGBT stuff.
I'm trying to get you.
Trying to get you. Say some sus stuff because they sus.
Right.
They probably love to hear that. Ooh,
right.
He said it. Yeah. He said some sus stuff.
Right.
Someone said, I don't have money to send. I have cash. Do the push-ups and I'll be there. I live in City View. Just pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Put the money, have the money in a bag. Pull up. We'll you know what I'm saying? We'll draw down and get the money and then tell you to get lost. It's pretty simple. All right. Somebody said pushing 40 years old on TikTok live with the why do you believe you're better than every human? The Bible says that we're the best people to God. We're God's chosen people to be above all people.